Back here on Texas Football Today. Pickle, let's go to the hotline. It's been a minute since we talked some football in San Jacinto County, but there's a big story to talk about. We're joined by the head coach of the area round-bound Shepherd Pirates, Coach Miles Robison. Coach, how are you?
Hi, I'm great. Thanks for having us.
Thanks so much. How are things in Shepherd?
Well, they're really good right now. It's an exciting time here in Shepherd.
You guys go take on Kirbyville, a district champion Kirbyville, and come away with an impressive victory. Not just because you knocked off a district champion, but because of what it meant for this team. You guys, your first playoff win in program history since 1967. What was the feeling? What was the reaction? What was the scene like there in Lufkin when you guys were able to run out the clock?
Well, it was kind of a surreal feeling, going into the season. I think we brought back 3 starters on each side of the ball, so we started out the season with a lot of puzzle pieces trying to fit them in place. And tell you what, our kids have really played well the last few weeks. And it was a wet, soggy night in Lufkin, and tell you what, we didn't feel it. We were super excited.
Coach, you mentioned that you guys have played great ball the past couple of weeks. I go back to your open date. Okay, you guys, you have a week 9 open date, and at that point, you guys are sitting at 2-5, 3-5. You guys are sitting at 3-5. Okay, and you need to win your final 2 games to get into the playoffs, including going on the road to Cold Spring Oakhurst, a place you're very familiar with, to get a win. What changed? What happened in that open date that has you guys now just flying so high?
I thought, the week that we played Woodville, we started showing some promise. We turned the ball over quite a bit, but we made some improvements offensively. But then when we played Westwood and even into Diboll, we started getting a little bit better and better. And we had that off week to kind of prepare. And I tell you what, our kids aren't the biggest. They're not the most athletic kids, but they're tough. And they've responded well all year. And against that Cold Springs team, we knew we'd be underdogs going into it, and we knew our backs were against the wall. And we just felt, that we had a good game plan together, and our kids responded well, and they've really taken care of business the last few weeks.
Miles Robison, head coach of Shepherd, join us here on Texas Football Today. Get involved in the conversation at hashtag TF Today. Okay, Coach, was the team aware? Were people around the program aware that it had been nearly 60 years since Shepherd had won a playoff game?
Yeah, I think, there's a lot of hometown people or people that have stayed since those times. My dad was actually in Cold Spring at the time and played against those Shepherd teams. And my grandfather was superintendent over here, but the last coach that was here was Gary Korn, and he is a legend in Shepherd. And I think he actually lives in Franklin now, so he's a supporter of the Lions as well. And Coach Fannin and I have talked this week about how much Mr. Korn has meant to both our communities.
Oh, what
it is pretty amazing.
That's pretty cool because the last time they won a playoff game, he was the head coach back in 1967. Now you guys are making your own brand of history. This is a team that's obviously playing their best football right now, but it's hard not to focus on what Preston Stevens is doing, your running back, who has been unbelievable. What is it about him? What that makes him special that has you guys playing this way right now?
He's an unselfish kid. He loves the game. That's the thing nowadays with a lot of kids. They play, but they really don't love it. Preston loves it. He just embraces every moment. If he messes up, he's going to go harder the next down. He takes off season seriously. We watched him in middle school and knew he could be special. He had some injuries as a freshman, but as a sophomore, he grew. And this year, he's kind of really taken over the team. And our offensive linemen were just giving him a little bit of heck because, he gets a lot of the recognition, and they're like, he's got to take them out to dinner because those guys have been blocking their ears off for him.
This is a team, one of the other things that makes this team so remarkable is you guys lost a pretty special senior class from last year's team.
We did.
You guys
we were talented.
If you go back and look at in the 2023 summer edition of Dave Campbell's Texas Football, you guys lose 18 lettermen, which at your level is shocking.
Yeah.
What have you seen from the youngsters that has not only the present so exciting, but also the future?
The other day when we were making our playoff roster, I think I counted 7 returners from last year's playoff roster.
Jeez.
So I tell you, we have a lot of freshmen that have stepped up. We started 5 freshmen the other night. 2 of them played both ways. And I think the senior class, there's not a lot of them, but they're just unselfish kids. They don't care who gets the credit. They play banged up. They play hard. And it's just carried down through the other classes. And I just want to represent, the community in town each night that they go out. And that's one thing we stress, even though we're not the biggest, we can have, we can be tough, and, you can't measure the size of a kid's heart.
The other, you mentioned the seniors, and they are relatively few and far between. You guys are running a youth group over there, but I want to talk a little bit about your senior linebacker, Sheldon Ferguson, a guy who's leading the defense that has really come on strong of late. For all we talk about Preston Stevens in that running game, the defense has come on strong. How important has Sheldon Ferguson been to what you guys do defensively?
He's just what you want. You think of the old school linebackers, and that's what he's about. He's a tough kid. He broke his hand a few weeks ago. He just refuses to sit out. He plays with a big club on his arm, and he's got good instincts, and he's just tough. He's around the ball all the time, and he makes plays when you need a kid to make plays.
Miles Robison, the head coach of the Shepherd Pirates, join us here on Texas Football Today. Get involved in the conversation at #TF Today. Coach, we mentioned that you guys had not won a playoff game since 1967. The last time you guys won 2 playoff games in a season is, I'm checking my notes here, never.
Never.
So an opportunity to make even more history. It won't come easy. You guys get the two-time defending champs, the Franklin Lions. You get you take them on Friday at Yates Stadium in Willis. I'm not going to ask you to give away your game plan, but when you take a look at what you guys are up against on Friday, what do you see?
Oh, we see a well-coached program, an established program. Coach Fannin, it does a great job. They have a ton of kids that can play football. It's just a traditional program, a powerhouse program, and we're excited to play those guys and see what our kids can do. We're a little banged up right now. We're trying to get healthy before Friday, but our kids are excited, and like I said, we've been underdog the last few weeks, and nothing's going to change. We're going to go over there and see if we can battle the Franklin Lions and see if we can make history again.
And finally, Coach, I do have to ask you about the celebration on the field, with the team and stuff like that. But I know that the family was fired up as well. What was the celebration like in the Robison household after this one?
It was great. My wife is my biggest supporter, and I tell you, every game after every game, I look forward to my daughter coming onto the field, and that's what it's about. It's about family, it's about community, and that's why Shepherd is a special place. The fans support us regardless, and we did it for them, we did it for our community, and we're just proud to be where we are right now.
He's Miles Robison. He's the head coach of the area round-bound Shepherd Pirates. Coach, we sure appreciate your time. Congratulations.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having us on. We appreciate you.
Absolutely. Thanks a lot, Coach.
Yes, sir.
There he goes. Miles Robison, head coach at Shepherd. Join us here. I mean, to go since 1967. It's been 56 years since they've won a playoff game. Okay? They were I think they were 0-11, 0-12 in that time. They haven't made the playoffs a whole ton, but when they have, you start looking up and down, and it's thanks for coming. You know what I mean?
Right.
They get blasted by Silsby, or they get beat by Crockett, right? Teams down there in that southeast part of the.
It's a tough region of the state in that classification.
That's the problem.
Every year.
That's one of the issues. The issues is that 3A is so loaded down there between Brazos Valley, Piney Woods, Golden Triangle, and Shepherd usually draws a team like Kirbyville, who's a district champion and rolling, right? But what a remarkable win for them, really and truly. And he mentioned they've been underdogs all year long. The computer, that game against Cold Spring Oakhurst, which basically they had to beat Huntington in the final week to truly clinch their playoff spot. They were 22-point underdogs against Cold Spring Oakhurst on the road.
Keep doing it.
They're going to be underdogs this week against Franklin. But you know what?
like you said, go out there and try to make history again.
Ain't stopped them yet. They might build a Miles Robison statue if they win this game on Friday night.
If they beat Franklin, they should build a Miles Robison statue.
Yeah, we might do a GoFundMe around here for that.
Yeah.
Anyway, we appreciate Miles Robison joining us to talk a little Pirates football.
Thanks so much for watching that video. If you would like more and to be notified when they come out, go ahead and click that subscribe button right down there. You can also watch Texas Football Today every day live at noon on TexasFootball.com, Facebook, Twitch, and right here on YouTube. For more of the best coverage of Texas football in the Lone Star State, go to TexasFootball.com/subscribe.